This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Click It or Ticket. The superpowers are gearing up for the Smartphone Wars Fall 2012 edition. What's the latest? We're going to bring it to you right now. It's Techno Buffalo's Rumor Roundup. Run them up! Woohoo! Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to Techno Buffalo on Revision 3. It's Rumor Roundup, your weekly roundup of the latest, juiciest, dirtiest, most preposterous, and perhaps even a little tiny bit truthy rumors from the world of consumer technology. My name is Noah Kravitz. I'm editor-at-large for Techno Buffalo, and this is your Rumor Roundup for the week ending today, Friday, May 18th, 2012. Happy birthday to a very, very special friend of mine out there. You know who you are. Happy birthday. I hope it's a great one. We're going to get right to it. It's all about smartphones this week. Isn't it always every week? The Wall Street Journal earlier this week reports that Apple has already placed orders for the displays to be used on the next generation of iPhone, which is still said to be launching this October or possibly September. The displays were contracted from a number of suppliers, including LG and Sharp, and are said to be at least 4 inches in size. A move to a 4-inch or larger display would mark the first significant change in the iPhone's form factor since the original was released. Apple has stuck to 3.5 inches for the iPhone display, but with everybody else on the market pushing out bigger and bigger phone displays, including Android, which has some 4.8 and even 5-inch plus displays out there, Apple may be feeling the heat and maybe listening to consumers saying, hey man, I like the iPhone, but I need a bigger screen. Everybody else has a bigger screen. I want a bigger screen too. A move much beyond 4 inches probably isn't in the works, according to many sources, and I tend to believe this as well, both because of the issues that it would cause with resolution and scaling of current iOS apps, and also because, frankly, moving from 3.5 to 4 is one thing, moving from 3.5 to like 4.8 inches, that just doesn't seem like it would be Apple style. Additionally, some reports from developers that references to iOS 6 have been popping up in test logs of apps. iOS 6, of course, not out on the market, let alone even announced by Apple. Apple's WWDC conference, where they traditionally unveil the latest and greatest in OS X and iOS software, is slated for next month in San Francisco, California. And also reports, I forgot to mention, current iPhone supplies are starting to ramp down as Apple gears up for production of the new model. And if they were doing this already in mid-May, that would be a little bit funny for an October launch. It could be that the next iPhone's coming a little bit sooner than people anticipated. I don't know. We're going to jump from Apple to Google. Naturally, right? We got to play both sides. No matter what you think of me, if I'm a fanboy, got to jump to both sides. So we're going to get to the latest on Google and the future of the Nexus line of phones and tablets after this word from Click It or Ticket. Look, whether you're a driver, a pedestrian, a cyclist, a parent pushing a kid in a stroller, a skateboarder, whatever it is you do, if you go near roads, and these days it's almost impossible not to if you live in the United States, the issue of automotive safety, driver safety, passenger safety is a big one that affects your life. Later this month, starting May 21st, from May 21st to June 3rd, in an effort to save lives, cut down on injuries, fatalities, everything, local and state law enforcement agencies are really going to be out in full force making sure that you are buckled up. Whether you're driving or riding in a car as a passenger, you gotta buckle that seatbelt. In 2009 alone, seatbelts saved an estimated 12,713 lives on American roadways. I guarantee you that number has gone up since then, unless the percentage of people wearing seatbelts has gone down. If you're not wearing a seatbelt when you're riding in a car, you're just being dumb. When I was a kid, my best friend, this is a true story, when I was a kid, my best friend in high school was killed with his family in a car crash. Car crashes are serious business. Either you or somebody you know, I guarantee, knows somebody who was seriously injured, if not killed, in a car crash. So do not mess around. Buckling up does not make you uncool. It makes you smart. It makes you safe. It keeps you alive. It's that simple. You buckle your seatbelt, you live. So guys and girls, but guys are particularly at risk. Guys, you should buckle up every time you go out. Daytime, nighttime, going to school, going to work, hitting the clubs, whatever it is, But I say hitting the clubs. I never hit the clubs, but you know what I mean. You might. You're cooler than I am. Buckle your seatbelt. Back to the rumors. Moving from Apple to Google, the other side of the smartphone war. The Wall Street Journal, they were just a treasure trove this week. They reported that Google is looking to expand their Nexus line to include up to 5 different manufacturers manufacturing Nexus devices in time for the holiday 2012 season. The Nexus line, which has traditionally been one phone made by one OEM partner running the stock Android experience of the newest version of Android. So, you know, the Nexus 1, the Nexus S, Galaxy Nexus, all that stuff. For this year, Google is aiming to have these devices ready to go, available for purchase by Thanksgiving, so in time for the holiday shopping season. And they will be sold, it looks like, directly through the Google Play Store. They will be unlocked and non-carrier branded phones running stock Android, and again, up to 5 different OEM partners may be in the mix. Why might Google be doing this? A couple of reasons floating around. The first reason, which I think is more the political reason, but I don't personally buy, is that they want to ease fears that their acquisition of Motorola Mobility means that Motorola will be getting first dibs on the latest updates to Android. So if, 5 different partners all launch Nexus phones with Android 5.0 at the same time, then, Google can say, see, we don't play favorites. But the other reason being kicked around, which I think is more of the reason, is that Google wants to get control. They want to wrest some control of Android back away from the carriers and from the OEM partners, mostly from the carriers. When you buy an Android phone these days, you buy it through a carrier in the US in particular, you get all kinds of bloatware on there, you get features that are enabled or disabled, bootloaders locked down, all kinds of stuff at the carrier's behest. The carriers still rule the roost when it comes to mobile in the US. If Google can start selling more devices direct through their own store, they can control what's on there, what's not on there, and also they can control the software version and push out the straight up Android experience as opposed to the version of the HTC phone sold by AT&T that has HTC Sense and AT&T's bloatware and other, so-called features riding on top of Android. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Roundup. Again, this week's Rumor Roundup was brought to you by Click It or Ticket. When you get in the car, buckle your seatbelt, and if you're driving, put the phone away, don't text, have your passenger deal with it, or better yet, just enjoy the road, crank up the tunes. If you see somebody driving a Prius too fast with the windows down, singing way off key, wave, because it's probably me. Till next time, my name's Noah. Techno Buffalo, Rumor Roundup, Revision 3. Thanks to all of you for watching, and I will be back next week rounding them up for you. See you later.